I could sit here and I could give you a boring definition of what personality is, either from Merriam-Webster or even our textbook. But essentially, personality is what makes you you. It's who you are. Many people have explored the question of what makes you who you are. Countless philosophers and psychologists have come up with their own explanation. Throughout taking this course, I've learned a lot about many different personality theories. The one that stood out to me was Carl Rogers and his self-actualization personality theory. Carl was born in 1902 in Illinois. He grew up in a very religious household and was definitely molded by this, for better or for worse. Carl saw that his parents' beliefs forced him to live by their standards and views. Carl said that him and his siblings believed that they should never dance, play cards, attend movies, smoke, drink, or even show any sexual interest. This made Carl feel very alienated and lonely. He credited this loneliness for his high interest in interviewing and in therapy. Carl attended the University of Wisconsin, and during this time, he went on a trip to China. This is where he found freedom and began to change how he saw the world. This would eventually plant the seeds of emotional and intellectual independence that would breed the self-actualization personality theory. Rogers began by developing a method for determining if a child's behavior was healthy and constructive or unhealthy and destructive. He gathered data on factors that could influence a child's behavior. Through this, he explored a child's self-understanding, or known as self-insight. He described this self-insight as one's acceptance of self and reality, as well as responsibility for the self. Rogers' theory drives off his belief that people are motivated by an innate tendency to actualize, maintain, and enhance the self. He believed this tendency was part of a larger actualization tendency that encompasses all our physiological and psychological needs. He believed this actualization tendency started in people when they were still in the womb. To Rogers, the actualization tendency is essentially the driving force behind people persevering and living through struggles and hardships in order to grow and live the life they want to have. According to Rogers, the orgasmic valuing process is how people evaluate their whole life experiences and how well they serve the actualization tendency. Good experiences are those that promote actualization, and bad experiences are those that hinder actualization. While Rogers explored how the multifaceted world of our experiences impact our personality, he noted that our perception is the most important factor. This stems from how two people can judge someone's behavior in two dramatic different ways. He believed that our experiences become the only basis for our judgment and behaviors. Through growing up as a child, you experience more and more events in life, and they develop a self-concept, or self. This development of self, Rogers said that it has a need for positive regard. He said positive regard is crucial to personality development. Unconditional positive regard is when positive regard is granted despite one's undesirable behaviors. After some time, positive regard comes from within us, rather than other people. This is called positive self-regard. Through this, conditions of worth are created. Conditions of worth are the belief that we are only worthy of approval when we express desirable behaviors and attitudes. When a person denies or distorts unacceptable ways of perceiving the experimental world and having inaccurate perceptions of experiences, incongruence may occur. This is when there is a discrepancy between a person's self-concept and aspects of their experience. The road to self-actualization leads to becoming a full-functioning person. This is the desired end result of psychological development and social evolution. The following characteristics are those of a fully functioning person. Awareness of all experience, open to positive as well as negative feelings. Freshness of appreciation for all experiences. Trust in one's own behavior and feelings. Freedom of choice without inhibitors. creativity and spontaneity, continual need to grow to strive to maximize one's own potential, and in a state of actualizing. Carl Rogers' personality theory is so interesting to me. Looking into Carl Rogers' life and his upbringing, you can really see how it shaped his view of the world and people. I, as well as many other people, grew up in religious households and were molded by that. At a young age, I realized how it was impacting my life and the choices I made. Regardless of the nature of the impact, whether it was positive or negative, I felt as though I wasn't living my life, and I really connected with Rogers' experience of this as well. I can see what Rogers was saying when we have an actualization tendency. To me, it is our will to live and better ourselves. I believe that people are striving to become better human beings every day, just like Rogers. This self-actualization theory really resonated with me, far more than other theories we have explored in this class. I feel as though it comes from what the theory is, but as well as who Rogers was as a person.